Welcome, everyone, to this all-around introductory session of Global Mentorship Program, presented by the London School of Leadership, Investment and Technology. I'm your host today, Nafis Alam. I'm acting as a program coordinator of this Global Mentorship Program. And today we also have our CEO, Abruna Shifa, with us. And it will be a delightful session to hear what's our mentorship program is offering, and in this ecosystem what we do, um, mostly to support our uh, mentees and to guide them through their higher education and their higher studies. So I'll give the floor to Abruna Shifa to introduce herself and start this today's conversation. I'm sorry, we cannot hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, it was a technical glitch. Anyway, thank you so much, Nafis, for giving me the floor and just to describe what we do at LSLIT and what is basically our mentorship program. So thank you so much for inviting me over here. I'm very much delighted to be here and just describing things to our mentees and the people who are very interested to join our global mentorship program. So, if we can, we should start with the introduction of who we are and what this whole global mentorship program is. So, Nafis, if you can just yes, move on to the next slide, that would be great. Thank you. So, at LSLIT, we are basically a e-learning platform where we promote lifelong learning. So global mentorship program is one of our flagship programs that we've been very passionate about, where we basically help all the mentees and students to live their dream of studying abroad. So we've been doing this for a long time, and the goal behind this mentorship program is helping people to reach their study goal and really going to the universities and the courses that is very much tailored to their background and their enthusiasm, whatever they like. So we want to be the partner every step of the way. So that's where this whole global mentorship program stemmed from. So if we move on to the next slide, we would see what we offer in our mentorship program. So Nafis, if you can move over to next slide, would be great. Thank you so much. So when you first join into our global mentorship program, so you will get the professional support and advice from the experienced professionals. So we've been doing this whole mentorship journey for a very long time, and the team that we have, we also gathered expertise in providing the support and the study materials every step of the way. So we also provide one-to-one email mentorship to the mentees who are willing to join into our mentorship program. So every step of the way, for example, if you need studies support for choosing your courses or universities or the countries for that matter. So in our experience, what we have seen, the student always often struggle with finding the exact courses that is enhancing for their career and also motivating into their achieving future goals. So I think if someone can provide support in that position, then those students are very much able to achieve their goals going forward. And also we have a network of 1400 current students at this moment, so you can really get the feelings of the community and you can discuss with those people. So we have provide Google Classroom support and other community support on with those 1400 people. So that's I think having that feeling of community is a very big thing that we can provide. And also we provide support for diverse academic levels, for example, undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD. So today's session is mostly about the mentorship program for masters in bioresearch. So we are gonna talk about everything that we offer on this whole program. So
Yes, I
yes.
think let me just ask you few things in order to make it clear for our mentees or the participants who are watching this. This mentorship program is being a pro bono initiative since the beginning of LSLIT. So, what kind of experience that LSLIT has gathered in offering or managing the students' application and mentoring them and giving them the support? What sort of wings that we are exploring and talking here?
So it's a 360-degree support. So whatever you need, basically, we would provide with that. So if you need support in providing selecting the universities or your courses, for example, if you are from a business background, but if you are exploring into some other areas, for example, data science, so we can provide the support that even if you are from a business background, but now you want to shift into data science, what sort of CV you need to prepare, what sort of SOPs you need to do, or what sort of courses you should be looking into that is more tailored to business graduates, and those sort of supports. And then after that, when you select a course or a country, then
Yeah,
you have to provide all those documents. So we also provide support on how to prepare these documents. For example, you would need a very good reference letters from your teachers, or probably from your colleagues and professional connections. So what are the exact things you need to
right,
provide in your professional references, all those things. So we would provide support on those things. So after preparing the document, we are always in touch with the universities. So when you basically apply for your program, and then after that, how you progress with the whole application, and what is your application status, if there is any offer or not. So we are always in touch with the universities. So
def-
we can
definitely,
always provide you information about how you are progressing with it. So after
right,
that, when you decide to come to that university, wherever you get the offer from, then we
right,
also provide visa support.
right,
So it's more
absolutely.
about a 360-degree support for the students.
Yes, absolutely. I can imagine the rigorous process of getting into the uni and the overall application process might be tedious, but I'm glad that we could offer the students an enlightening service in order for them to reiterate their path and get into the right direction. So also, I'm sure that in the UK, most of the people are aware of the thought masters, but the research masters is quite a bit more challenging in terms of application process. So if you just kindly explain us what is a master's by research, what is the main idea for the students that they need to really think about before they embark into this field of studies?
Sure. Thank you so much for your question. So, we mostly, again, when people think about coming to the UK, mostly so far it has been mostly about thought masters, because that's where we think. I mean, as a student, they think that they can get the most value of getting the degree from abroad. So but there are a few changes in the regulation has been in place. So we can see so many interest into research masters as well. So this is basically, obviously, not the same as what thought masters will give you. So it's a more research orientated higher education level, rather than what we go for thought masters. So if I just go through the points that how the research masters is different from thought masters, then we have listed all the points that how it can be different from thought masters. So obviously it's a full-time one year program. and you'll have to write a 40,000 words of thesis, and that is your main work. So you will get the introduction in how to get into research. So there will be so if you do a master's by research, so you wouldn't have any classes or courses you'll have to do, but you'll have to be committed at least 35 hours into education, and will have to find a supervisor who will you will write a research proposal and with whom you will collaborate with their research program. So if you are accepted, then you'll have to write that whole 40,000 words of thesis, and then you wouldn't have any examination, but the process of evaluation would be your thesis. So when you submit your thesis, after that it will be reviewed by external supervisor and by your internal supervisor, and then you will attend viva voce, which is your thesis defense presentation. So after that, if you are successful, then only after that you will get the
Right.
research masters certification. So
Okay.
I would say it's different. The goal is different. So if you are going for Toastmasters, you will attend classes, and you'll have to follow through a framework of rigorous studying and attending classes. But research masters, I would say it's a bit more liberal in the sense of that rigorous framework. You would have a lot more flexibility given your supervisor allows. So some supervisor could say, no, you'll have to come here in the university and work for that 5 hours in the lab. But some supervisors might say, okay, I am quite flexible. You can work remotely or have a meeting with me probably once a week or twice a week. So it's more of a research based thing rather than conventional what we do on a classroom basis courses.
It is quite unlike the taught masters. Most of the students have this idea that the research masters is similar to the taught masters, that they have a regular session of lectures and they go to the lectures and they sit for exam. Although it's quite unlike in research masters, it's more like you have a professional setup while doing the research masters. Thank you so much for elaborating this point. This will, I think, help the students to rethink of their course of studies. And if I just ask you, who is like who are the students that are suitable for this research masters program? Who does it fit for? If you can kindly elaborate on that
Sure.
point.
So the research masters, again, whoever is willing to do a taught masters can go for research masters. But if you have a research background previously from your undergraduate level, or you have interest in research, that's what will make you more suitable for a research masters. So if you want to gain a specialized knowledge in research, for example, in such certain areas, a research master's will give you a bit more edge than a taught master's. For example, if you are from a finance background and if you want to do pure finance, then a research master's would be a better option for you than a taught master's, because finance is very much research based course now. So if you do a research master's rather than a taught masters, it will give you more edge in finding jobs in the financial industry in the UK. So it's the same for data analytics, marketing as well. So if you don't do the conventional marketing, if you do more like probably data driven digital marketing sort of area, then research could be a better option. So research masters is definitely a higher masters than a higher level of masters in a sense
Right.
from a taught master's perspective. But you, as a student, what you are aiming for is, if you are to have interest in research, or if you are perceive yourself to do PhD going forward, research masters will give you a very good base, if you will. So it could help you secure funding as well. So I always see it as an investment. So if you invest in research masters and your aim is to do PhD going forward, so research masters will give you that very good base for your PhD. So if you have a really good result in your research masters, and if you have a publication while doing your research masters, your thesis might be published in various journals or workshop or wherever, then it just gives you a very good base for your PhD
Yeah.
as well. So you could secure funding from the results of it. So there are various aspects of students who could actually get benefited from research masters.
Right. We always encounter these kind of questions that I don't have a research background. I haven't had my hands-on writing a research paper. Will it be suitable for me to get started in this master's by research or doing a PhD? We have encountered a lot of people who wants to do their PhDs,
Hmm.
and at the same time, they often say that we don't have a background on research. So, how do we see how can we help those students who don't have a research background in this case? Is it quite necessary to get started with your master's by research?
So, if you don't have any research background, it's always help. Obviously, if you have a research background from your undergraduate or you have published already some of your papers, so obviously it will help to get into really good universities, into a masters by research. And for as of PhD, what I would say from my experience, the profile of the students, if we go through that, the students we have processed so far for PhDs, so they generally have good backgrounds of research to begin with, because PhD is obviously an extension of your masters. Whatever you do, it will be just 1 year program, but if you do a PhD, that would be a 3 year more extensive elaborated program. So if you already have a background in research and you are already familiar, so then by all means, obviously PhD would be a better choice for you. But if you don't have that background and you want to get started, then I would say a master's would serve you better. So if you don't have any background at all, not necessarily you'll need that for your research masters, to get into research masters. So that's where we come in. So in our program, we basically help you with the every sort of support you would need. So for example, you'll have to find a supervisor, you'll have to write a research proposal. So if you don't have a research background, so writing a research proposal can be very overwhelming for you, and which can be daunting as well. And you might wonder, okay, this is not my cup of tea. So that's where we think we could make a synergy. Working with us, you can get all that support. So writing your research proposal, and you will need a specialized kind of SOP as well, and the reference letter that you get from your connections, that reference letters has to be a little bit more tailored as well. So you will need more concentrated reference into the area you have to do the research on. So we will teach you the way that how you should approach your referees to make those reference letters, or you need to write an extensive academic CV for yourself as well. Although you don't have the research background, but you'll have to perceive yourself that you are very
Right.
enthusiastic about the research that you are
Right.
willing to do for this master. So you will have to write a special kind of CV for that, so that you just ooze your confidence that yes, I am the person who can get into this research masters and I can do well, because the universities obviously would like to see the such person that is very much willing to go through the whole rigorous process of research. And your CV, your document, your SOP, everything has to be a proof of that yes, I am the person that is suitable for this position that I am applying for.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for clarifying that, and I'm sure that This will help our mentees to get started with their application process and give the guidance to write their SOPs and the research proposal. Before I ask you further question, I just want to address to our participants that this is a 40 minutes of lecture session, that we are going to have a discussion for 40 minutes, and then we will take some of the questions from you people, and then we hopefully can answer and wrap up this session. So from me, the next question to you is about the tuition fees. Money wise, it's also quite challenging for most of our participants. They want to know what are the tuition fees, what will be the cost for this, and how many years are they going to commit during their research masters or PhD. If you can enlighten our
Sure.
participants on that. Yeah.
So our Toastmasters, unlike a Toastmasters, it's 12 months full commitment of writing, commitment to research. So for Toastmasters, you will need 9 months of studying period, and then you just write your dissertation. Whereas for research masters, you'll have to go through 12 months of studying period, and then you can extend your writing period for the next 1 year. So you'll have to pay a tuition fee for 1 year, depending on the university. So it ranges from different, from probably £18,000 to it depending on the university, it could go up to probably £30,000. So it's 1 year tuition fee plus your extension period write-off fees. So in different universities, the write-off fees are different again, but that's not a very high amount. You would expect probably something around £350 to £800 write-off fees. So yes, a research masters is a little bit more expensive than taught masters, but the edge, the niche that you are getting from doing research masters, I think it's worth paying that money.
Right. Thank you. And it varies from universities to universities. There's no specific decorum or specific budget for the whole universities. It varies depending on where you're living, where you're studying, I think this will be mentioned on the university website as well about the tuition fees and the further costs. And now, if we just carry our conversation about the recent regulation or the changes by the UKVI for most of the students, in this mentorship program, we have participants from Nigeria, Kenya, India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. So I think it's also very important for our mentees to get that study permit and to stay in the UK and continue their studies. So these recent changes will be also a matter of fact to consider, either to commit in this kind of research-based masters or PhDs. Could you please enlighten on the recent regulations?
So yeah, sure, of course. Thank you so much for your question. I think this is one of the most important part of why people are pursuing research masters nowadays than our taught masters. So let's address the elephant in the room. So obviously, the student who are coming from abroad, visa is a very big concern for them, and obviously we want our families to be here, and that's makes more sense. But from this January, the people who are coming to taught masters, they are no longer able to bring their spouse or dependents with them. So this is huge shift from people pursuing research masters from taught masters. We are not saying that's the only reason why people should do research masters. Obviously it is going to has to be fitted in your career goal or whatever you want to do in future with your career, but it's definitely a motivating factor. And when people are thinking about doing a master's abroad in the UK especially, especially, probably they are rethinking that whether I should do a taught masters or a research masters. So the changes we have seen is definitely more towards the research masters program rather than coming to taught masters. So the things that we have seen the shifting into the paradigm is UK has an immigration problem. So the government is relentlessly trying not to bring people from overseas that won't probably contribute to the economy enough, and they are relentlessly looking for the people who will be good enough to participate in the economy, contributing to their economy, and they are just don't want to bear the dead cost in their shoulders anymore. So when they are thinking of bringing people from the overseas, they are thinking the thought process is basically the people who are coming, they are qualified enough, they are higher quality students that is capable of making a huge contribution to the society. So and the people who don't misuse the system. So obviously when there are opportunity, there is abuse in the system, so they are trying to minimize that abuse in the system as well. So for research masters, what is more important, I think, for the people, the regulators to understand that the people who are actually willing to perceive research masters, they are higher quality people, because from nowhere you just cannot come one fine morning, you just cannot think that, oh okay, I'm gonna be a researcher, and you just cannot be a researcher like that. So you will have to have an extensive background first, and if you don't have that, you have to show that willingness that yes, I will be capable of pursuing this research, and I will be able to pursue this research master. So
Right.
their goal is to make that we are getting quality students that will be able to participate into the economy, contribute to the economy. So from their thinking process, they are making sure that research masters or PhD students get all the benefits or all the things that is easier for them, whereas for taught masters, because we have seen many people
Right.
that who has the willingness just to come here in the UK and probably not work and just to get the visa. So they are trying to minimize that abuse in the system, and the people who are actually pursuing more background in research, they perceive these people are more serious about their career, more serious about their study, and these people are higher quality. So
Right.
I think that's where they're shifting towards, and also it will come as a benefit of having higher amount of salaries and higher rank position into the, if you want to be an academic, then you can get a really good job into academics, or if you want to go to the industry, many companies have their R&D departments, so you can secure a higher level position if you have a research master's or a PhD.
Right, right, definitely, definitely. And since you mentioned about the abuse of the whole visa system, I think the Home Secretary recently sent a letter to Professor Brian Bell, asking, demanding thorough investigation how this route has been exploited by the students or by the immigrants. So there will be an extensive, investigation going on with the students, and how they are embarking their educational journey. The whole idea is to attract the talents from the whole world. So I think this is one of the aspects that the students really need to consider, that either they're contributing to the whole job market, or contributing to the researches in the UK. And also, I just want to get into the spouses, that most of our mentees, they want to stay or bring come to the UK with their spouses, with their partners. So what can you clarify the strict guideline that has been provided by the UKVI regarding the partner and children of our mentees and participants?
Yeah, sure, of course I will.
Yeah,
Just before I get into that, the one thing I would like to mention
yeah,
on from the previous slide, which is
yeah,
like the route, the graduate route, the work permit of 2 years, it's basically under review now. I'm not sure if everyone over here who are participating, they are already, they have taken into the graduate route, or they must be in the graduate route already. But the graduate route, the 2 year work permit visa, is basically under review at this moment. So the Home Secretary basically asked the Migration Authority Committee to review the process, that yes, there we have been allowing the students to come to the UK, work for 2 years, but is it actually worth it? Is it actually making any benefits for the country or not? So the whole report, Professor Bell is going to submit, is has a deadline for May this year. So after that, the whole cabinet will decide on that, which route they are going to take. But in our views, what we have seen in our experience, these things are mostly applicable for taught degrees. So researchers, previously, what we have seen historically, have been immune from this sort of restrictions. So if we go back in 2012, we can see that it used to call PSW, post study work. So students used to get PSW for 2 years before pre 2012. So after 2012, this whole PSW system has been abolished, and that has been abolished only for the taught students, not for the researchers. So the people who used to do PhD or research masters, they get 1 year of 1 year of post-study work visa. Still, they were granted that. So this has been reintroduced back in 2021 or 2020. 2020, I'm exactly not sure about when it has been introduced back again, but this is under review again. So UK has been this love and hate relationship, if you will, with the students, with their granting the work permit or not. So this is very much under review all over again. So I think research masters or PhD can be a very good option for the students all over again, because if you are considering to stay in the UK for the longer term, and it's so unfair to the students, because you have spent so much money studying in the UK, and then you wouldn't be allowed to get the money back by working. This, in my view, that's very unfair, but it's their it's the system, how they are perceiving. So probably they might take it away again. We are not sure, but this is under review. So I think, again, going for a research masters or a PhD can be a very good option from that front, because probably these are considered as more serious and higher level degrees. So the regular, in general, student system, student laws probably won't be a part of this research masters or PhD system. So yes, that's that. And for the dependents and the spouses, if we move on to the next slide, so from now on, if you are studying for taught masters, yes, you won't be able to bring your spouse and dependents with you. But what the government says, so this is exactly the screenshot from the gov.uk website. So what we see over here is what government is saying, that the student starting a course that lasts longer than 6 months. So you have to do a course that is longer than 6 months, which is applicable for research masters, and then a full-time student on a postgraduate level course, RQF7 or above, that lasts 9 months or longer. So,
and the research masters is level 7.
Level 7, yes, exactly.
Right.
So you must have one of the following. So if you are any of these, then you are eligible to bring your partner or children Also, if your postgraduate level course starts on or after 1 January 2024, it must be either. So that was the previous law, and what is now is a PhD or other doctorate, so level 8 course. So there is a very common misconception that if you are doing a research masters, you won't be able to bring your spouse or dependents. And I can understand why it is the conception, because of this very line that a PhD or other doctorate candidate. But if you see the second line, a research based higher degree course. So if you go to a research based higher degree course, then you will be able to bring your partner and spouse. And a research masters is a research based higher degree course. So even if you are not a PhD candidate, if you are a research masters candidate, you will still be able to bring your partner and children from now on.
Right, right. Thank you very much, Nahar, for elaborately explaining the whole thing. I think this will give the initial thought of doing the research-based masters or the PhD. Actually, the research-based masters and the PhD level courses have the similar application process, although there are some strict rules and regulations for the research proposal uh, and the statement of intent or purpose. Whatever you're preparing the document, it has to be more elaborate for a PhD. On the other hand, research masters is something that you will be willing to do if you don't have a previous experience whatsoever on the research or in writing a research paper. I think it's just a stepping stone for the PhD. Um, from the LSLIT, I think we are addressing all those issues whatsoever for this application process. Like we are doing this for over 4 years now, and we have this expert-led team. We have been trained by our co-CEO, Dr. Niaz Chaudhary, who is the Director of Education and the founder of LSLIT. The main idea was to help students in order to get into the research-based courses all around the world. So along with myself, with the team, we have been trained to provide our students their supports in terms of pursuing their higher studies, and to get all those logistic supports to starting from crafting a research proposal and writing a well crafted statement of purpose. The most crucial step for a student to get into the university is to identify the university and the program. Not all the universities offer the programs that you are looking for. And one of the most unique thing for the research based courses is to find a supervisor. I think we are also well aware of that, and have our team to address this issue and help the students to get into their application process. And lastly, we definitely talk about the policies and the visa support, and the other things that is related to the studies. Nothing else than that. I think the team is quite experienced in terms of helping students, and I'm sure that when we will have this one-to-one session over the email, we also provide this one-to-one email session where students can specifically address their issue to our mentors, our team, and we will discuss about each student and have a meeting what to offer and what not to offer to the students. And this is a very rigorous process, and the whole things will be done in this ecosystem. So if I just talk about some of the some of the things for our research proposal, and how to write a reference letter. I think this is pretty much standard for all the universities. Like the basic things for the research proposal starts with a title or abstract and literature review, the hypothesis and the objectives, methodology, significance, and timeline, including conclusion. So how we really offer, or how we manage this kind of proposal on behalf of our student, is that we have a one-to-one session where we will send a template where the students can really fill it out on behalf of themselves, and let us know as much as we can to help them. So with the informations collected from the students, and we can produce this documents for the students, including the research proposal, then how to we can prepare a draft for the students, how to get to the supervisor, and how to come into how to match their interest with the supervisor's interest. So the team, our team, they really spend a lot of time to like study what the supervisor's point of view, what that supervisors is willing to commit with the students, because you really have to match the interest with your supervisor. Otherwise the university will not be able to offer you a position in the universities. Just to make sure that you have common interest with your supervisor. And then
I,
again,
I I just sorry. I just wanted to mention one thing about supervisor.
yeah,
It is some universities say you don't really need to find a supervisor in order to apply for a master research program, but yes, you can actually apply for your masters or your PhD without finding a supervisor. But if you do find a supervisor, the chances of getting into that course is tenfold. So for example, if you just applied, you are just another student for the university, but if you do actually find a supervisor and then refer them to the admission board, that yes, I already find the supervisor, he or she has agreed for me to join into their the research program or research team, and I'm already been talking to him or her about my positioning. So the chances of you getting into that course has been is tenfold. There is almost if you are a self-funded student, there is almost with certainty we can say that yes, you will get into that program. So I think it's a very crucial point where you find a supervisor in order to get into your position into the research master spectrum.
right. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, definitely. It depends on the university to university. Most of the universities are currently accepting the application with or without supervisors, and even if the university's requirement is for the you have to find a research supervisor. I think from our ecosystem and our expert team can help you with that as well. So moving on, we maintain all our students information, and all our students application is being dropped with one of our dynamic student portal. This is a very good platform, I must say, that the student can uh, manage their document easily on the portal. And we always say that you make one application and apply for multiple applications with this portal. So this is just a way to for us and our team to stay within the ecosystem. Like if when we get into the portal, we can see the student's profile and what kind of documents the student is missing, and where the student is trying to apply, we can always see it via our portal. So I'm also just including a QR code to the tutorial of our portal, how to get started and how to get yourself on board. So I think it's a self-explanatory process. By scanning this code, our students can really get into the a video to how to get started with the portal.